After disappointing losses, UCLA and USC look to bounce back against each other. Can the Bruins end a 3-year losing streak to their rivals? Welcome inside the Orange County Register offices. This is a special edition of Trojan Talk and What's Bruin. I'm Jonathan Khamis, being joined by our USC beat writer Michael Ladd, UCLA beat writer Scott Reed. Do you guys know each other?
Yes, we do.
Vaguely.
Okay, guys, before we get into this preview here, let's talk about last week's game. USC losing to Notre Dame 2016. It was rainy, fans were leaving early, and it was ugly, Michael.
It was ugly. It was another subpar offensive performance. One of the great mysteries of this season is where has that offense gone? I mean, it was a prolific unit for 10 games, and it's been terrible. I think the quarterback situation is to blame for all of it. The offensive line's kind of gone in the tank. The running game has disappeared. No big plays out of the wide receivers. Now USC is staring down the barrel of a possible 3-game losing streak to end the season, which would just be a complete and utter disaster for this senior class and this first-year coaching staff.
That's a worst-case scenario, but they weren't the only SoCal team that lost. The UCLA Bruins also going down at Arizona, giving up 55 points and a loss there, Scott.
Yeah, it was a really Black Friday. I mean, they blew a 17-point lead early on. Just the defense just collapsed. They actually had 300-yard passing game out of Richard Brahill, 3 touchdowns, but the defense just couldn't stop anything.
Okay, let's get right into the UCLA USC preview, and I like what you wrote about in the blog. This season's kind of up for grabs, not really much going, but and you said Alan Bradford and C.J. Gable, why don't they start as a goodwill gesture?
Yeah, it's a goodwill gesture because they're fifth-year seniors who've been loyal soldiers. And number two, maybe they'll provide a spark. I mean, this offense needs something. We've seen what Alan Bradford can do at his best. Rushing for more than 200 yards in a game. There was a stretch where he was averaging 8 or 9 yards a carry. C.J. Gable's always going to run hard and give his all. I say why not give those guys a shot against UCLA? Obviously, it seems like you can pass the ball against the Bruins, as Arizona State showed last week, but there's a little bit of uncertainty about the quarterback situation now. I really believe in his heart of hearts that Lane Kiffin wants to establish the run first to set up play-action passes.
So knowing what Michael Lev just said, what are the Bruins focusing in on the most heading into this game against USC?
You know, it seems like they're almost focusing on next season. I mean, there's been so much talk about, what's going to happen after this, but Michael made a good point. If I'm Lane Kiffin, I know where Aaron Hester is everywhere and on every play. I mean, I'm going after him. Arizona State went after him 3 straight plays last Friday. UCLA, they're just trying to keep on track on offense and try and patch together something on defense.
Seemingly could be the last hurrah for Norm Chow and Bullock and maybe even Neuheisel. You never know.
I talked to Dan Guerrero the other day, and he said emphatically that Neuheisel's back. Chow, I'd say it's probably 50-50. I can't see any circumstances where Bullock would be back, especially after they gave up 595 yards, so not a very good team the other day.
The USC leads this rivalry 42-28, those vacated wins obviously coming into a factor there. 3-year winning streak for USC. How's the injury report going? Will Matt Barkley play in this game?
Yeah, I think he will. He looked a lot better at the end of the week compared to the way he was at the beginning of the week. The start of last week, he was on crutches, he was in a boot. By the end of the week, he didn't play, but I did see him walk up the tunnel without a problem, didn't seem to have any kind of noticeable limp. He really wants to play. I think Lane Kiffin wants him to play. He's not a hugely mobile guy to begin with, so I don't think that a sprained ankle is really going to hamper him all that much. I think Barkley's going to start. Okay,
guys, we're going to flash back to last year's game. USC up 21-7 late in the 4th quarter. UCLA decides to take some timeouts. They had some. Why not use them? But then Pete Carroll at the time with USC tells Matt Barkley, hey, man, just chuck it up and see what happens. What happened was a 48-yard touchdown pass, and UCLA players are remembering that. And what are they going to do? Take that as motivation going into that game?
Well, you can talk about it, but you have to back it up. And they really haven't talked about it that much. Maybe later in the week they will, but I think they've got bigger concerns right now than what happened a year ago, especially with Carroll gone.
What does Lane Kiffin think about that, what happened last year?
Yeah, I mean, obviously he wasn't here. Haven't had a chance to ask him about it yet. I'm sure he'll say that was really not his, kind of his deal because it was a previous coaching staff. But the players are really excited about it.
Yeah.
You can say what you will, but every game they show this montage on the video board. What's your favorite this or that? And Matt Barkley says his favorite touchdown pass was that one against UCLA.
Yeah, I think you hit on something there, the player mentality. What is UCLA's mentality? It's a losing season. There is no bowl game. I mean, I was joking with you guys before this. I call it the no bowl game. So what are the UCLA players fighting for right now?
I think, you know, this could kind of salvage the season a little bit, have a little bragging rights in the city. You know, we haven't seen them since Friday, but you know, there's obviously this is their bowl now. This is what it's come down to, and they want to be able to hang their hat on something, and this is all they have left.
Okay, let's get into our predictions, gentlemen. USC, I predicted them to go 8-5 before the season began, so obviously I have them beating UCLA. I have them winning 19-14. Mr. Lev, your prediction. Yeah, your prediction.
Yeah, it upsets me no end that you're going to be right about their record.
Thank you so much.
But I'm going to stick with USC. Maybe, hopefully, I'll be right one of these days. I'm going to go with 21-16. I think the biggest differences in the game will be the quarterback. I mean, 75% Matt Barkley, I think, is better than anything UCLA has to offer. I think he's extremely motivated to finish this season on a high note, and I think he's going to have a really good game.
Scott, your prediction, how does this game go down?
Well, I think Matt Barkley's ankle got a lot better when they saw the game film from Arizona State. So there was nobody within the time zone of Osweiler. Isolate pulls it out 20-14.
Okay, I like the homer picks here from our beat writers, and that's going to do it for this special edition of Trojan Talk and What's Bruin. We want to thank Michael Lev and Scott Reed, and for all your latest UCLA and USC information, be sure to check out their respective blogs at ucla.ocregister.com and usc.ocregister.com. Thanks for watching.